Hello, Hyperlinkers. I'm Chris, the community manager for Etheria. I want to give a big thanks to Mary and Michael for giving us such a detailed introduction to Etheria for our viewers. I'm here with the game director and three amazing content creators, Zoxus, Sean B, and Vulcan, to discuss some big topics you guys are most excited about. Before we start, let's get some introductions, starting with Jack.
Hello, Hyperlinkers. This is Jack, the game director of Etheria. The whole team have been working on this project for more than 3 years, and we are so excited we are about to launch. So hope you enjoy tonight's show.
What's up, everyone? I'm Zox. I've been basically, covering every single beta that this game has had, bringing you guys tier lists, not only from global, but also from the CN side. I'm just really hyped to see all the things that you guys are going to be able to experience.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean B. I've been making content for turn-based RPG for many years now, and I came across Etheria recently, and I am blown away by how good the game looks, and I'm so excited to try the game out in the official launch later this year.
Hey guys, I'm Vulcan. I've been creating content for 5 to 7 years now. I really love turn-based games. It's a genre I've been really fond of, especially the ones where you got some competitiveness in it. In the last beta for Etheria, I managed to finish rank 1 in Arena, so it's safe to say I tried pretty hard in that beta, and I've been hanging out for the release since then, so definitely looking forward to the release of the game.
Welcome, everybody. First, I want to hear your thoughts. So after watching this new live stream, what stood out to you guys the most, and what are you most curious about? With Jack here, I feel like it's the perfect chance to ask.
Well, thanks, Chris. I guess I'll go first. So I've been basically, like I mentioned before, covering Etheria since the very beginning. Basically looking for new character reveals, making videos on anything, basically a new unit, and anything that basically is fresh coming into the game. With that being said, I'm actually really curious. Since it's been about 2 months since the beta, and really honestly since we had the test, we've seen a bunch of brand new characters come in that beta. How did the Etheria dev team manage to design and build so many new heroes in such a short time? Could you share a bit of your character design philosophy?
Yeah, sure. Of course, first, thanks, Docs, for supporting Etheria for the long time. And we are a big fan of your channel, and you make really great content. And back to your question. So because we are a strategy turn-based RPG, so the character is really a fundamental pillar of our game. So our first goal is to create as much as characters with diverse and identity. So we put a lot of resource and in this aspect. So we created more than 3 pipelines for this character design. So from the creative design and the concept design, 3D modeling, and rigging, animation of all this stuff. So there are multiple pipelines running. So actually, when you see this new character release, actually there are already several characters already start in working in process. So that's why we can manage to release so many characters, and in the future we will release more characters that will bring new experience to the game.
Well, thanks, Jack. Vulcan, do you have any questions on this topic?
Hey Jack, first of all, thanks for having us on. I really do appreciate you getting us involved. I've loved the little chat we had beforehand, getting to know you. I'm really excited about what you can bring to this game and to the players as well. Now, obviously, I played pretty hard through the last beta, thoroughly enjoyed myself, and there was already a lot of content in the game from that point there, but you do have a bunch of other content still to come as well that you've released. What's the plan on rolling out all the extra content? Is it all going to be there at launch? Is going to drip feed in so people aren't overwhelmed? What's the general idea of releasing content and the philosophy around that?
Okay. First, thanks for joining us today, Vulcan. And it's quite impressive you make in the last beta. So it's quite impressive. And back to your question. So actually, we are not blindly to add more features, add more systems that to bring to our game, because that will make players just busier and busier. But because we are a strategy turn-based game, so create more diverse of the builds and the strategy and the different game experience is our goal. So you can see from our game, we divide our system into 3 parts. You have daily challenges that you can grant your resource to upgrade your heroes, like the modules and shells. And we have the trial challenges that you can have the more difficult challenge to test if you have a good enough build and that. And there are the third part is events. Events, when we add more new events, it's just to create new experience and with different experience and different gameplay. So this is the basic 3 parts. Of course, we also have 2 parts is the union, right? The union is the social part, and you can play with other players. And the last part, of course, it's one of the most interesting part of the Etheria is the PvP part. We have its arena, we have RTA, and you already see in this live stream we introduce another new mode. It's a light tournament. So we just also want players to not only enjoy PvE content but also PvP content. So these are the basic framework, and I think it's almost the complete framework of our design. So in the future, we just based on this framework, we will introduce more the event systems and the new challenges. So that's being said, so we are ready. So the game framework is ready. So that's why we're about to launch the game. So I hope everybody is excited and looking forward to it. Thanks.
Yeah, super exciting. Awesome.
Wow, there are like so many things that he mentioned there, especially the PvP part where I'm like super excited about, because I know we're all here for that competitiveness in this game, right? But then I also noticed that beside the RTA part, there's also this thing called the Fearless Arena. Like, what is that? Like, how's that different from the RTA that we have in the game?
Yeah, I think we already teased a little bit in the introduction. So, usually a game in this market or in this genre, we have the traditional arena. That means it's you fight with other players' build, and we get RTA, right? You have real-time arena, and you match with another player. And usually this kind of games also runs a tournament like we did before. We have already held several tournaments, even in the beta test. But the thing is, a tournament is very exciting. I think, Zox and Sean, you had a very interesting match, right? So in the last tournament. But it's always limited. So last time we only invited 16 players. But it's fun, and we want to bring this exciting esport experience to wider audience, so the players, more players can join and experience that. So that's why these ideas coming out. That's why we put this Fearless Arena. Actually, it's a light tournament and in-game. It's an in-game tournament you can play in the weekends. So there we will match 8 players, and it's a tournament. And after 3 or 5 matches, there's a champion. So we hope it's a brand new experience. I never had see this kind of system in this genre. So we hope it will bring a brand new experience to our players.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be a big hit with this game, and I'm super excited to see it in motion. So thank you, Jack, for the additional insight. Transitioning into the topic of balance, strategy, mechanics, it's clear that we put a ton of effort into both PvE and PvP. Since you 3 guests here are super experienced with turn-based RPG genre, are there any concerns you have about Etheria or anything you're particularly curious about? You can ask Jack right now, right here.
Yeah, so for me, I'm probably going to talk for a little bit on this one because this is something that I'm really passionate about. And I think with Etheria, between the module and shell system, it's got something very unique that we haven't really seen before in these types of games, where there's two big things. First of all, a shell for me, when I jumped into the game, is sort of replaced what you look at in some other games as the weapon, which I always hate summoning weapons on a banner. There is nothing worse than that for me. Whereas in this game, the shells, which once again, they're actually really cool, like pet type things, but they fill that role of a weapon from other games. They're farmable, so you can go ahead and farm them. And then you have a module system where both your quote unquote gear and your shells have different sets that they can get, and then reaching so many of these sets give you set bonuses, which is a really cool way to integrate getting different set effects, where normally in a game it's just like have 2 of these pieces, have 4 of these pieces, whatever it is. So I thought that's really interesting, the module system with the shells combined with more customization than I've ever seen before, with you've got 3 slots of your modules that can all have the same stats. So you can have like 3 crit damage pieces if you want. You can have 3 HP pieces if you want to go super tanky. There is no speed main stat on them. There's a lot of things where the game has done a bit more customization than what I'm used to seeing. And I just want to hear from you, like why you went with that path and what was the philosophy behind it.
Yeah, that's really a good question. I think also this design, this gear system, and we call it matrix system, because with the matrix you put shell and the module together to get these matrix points to have a fully built, of course, with your animals, your character. So I think this whole system is one of our most satisfied design in our game, because before this setting, this design, we have 3 or 4 other solutions or approach, but we still think it's not there. And of course, we can reference other games. There are a lot of games on the market which can just take one we think are good, okay enough, and we just take it and do a little bit adjustment. But during the very early stage, we just think it's not right. It's just too similar with others, and there's no fresh experience. And we also found the builds is quite limited. You go after you play a while, it's preset. You can only follow this kind of ways. So we think about how could we improve this thing, because back to our goal. Our goal is to want to create a diverse and so rich combinations or builds of this strategy. The player, even the play style of the players, they can choose their own way. So when we come up with this solution, when we introduce this matrix with shells and the modules, I think we find this solution. You can say if in the end game we have more than 50 animals, we have more than 20 types of modules, and we have more than near 20 I would say shells. With this combination, of course you may think a little bit complicated for beginners, but when we design a game, we will design for the end game, and we will introduce these systems one by one, step by step to the players, and they will get familiar with it and learn it, and with a learning curve. And in the end, we hope in the end everybody get familiar with this, and they can have more choice and more diverse of the builds, then make the game really fun, not only in PvE but also in PvP, especially also in the real-time arena, so RTA. And then we can have really interesting matches. So that's our goal.
Yeah, I honestly, I have something that I want to actually piggyback off of, because we are obviously talking about like relics and cores, and I think that kind of like leads into like the idea that this is a really deep progression system. And I guess that kind of was like one of the things I was wondering was, you know, how exactly were you guys going to approach basically trying to maintain you know, basically the balance between character variety and the strategic diversity in combat? Because I think one of the things with a lot of PvP games is that, especially when you, I guess, have both PvP and PvE, but seeming that we're kind of leaning more towards the PvP side, like that's something that you really want to always kind of like try to maintain, like player interest, but also like what matters to that specific type of game mode. And I guess kind of a double or stat question there. How do you also plan to add future characters? Like, is it going to be according to character that's currently destroying meta right now, or is it be just something just completely fresh that creates its own meta? And I think the last part I want to add to that also is how often can players actually expect to see characters added as well?
Okay. Yeah, it's a really challenging question, and it's a challenging task for us because balancing is crucial in this kind of game. If you lose balancing, and then you lose, the diverse of the builds, and then the player will have the similar play style. They will find the jack of all trades heroes, or they will find the best team set, and then they will break down all these systems. Or if you see in the arena, everybody selects the same hero, it will be super boring, right? So that's there are two goals. So when we design a new character, we just want to have, for each character, we want to have its own place. So its place means some character may be more suitable for PvE content, or even specific bosses, like it's single target, some is more stronger in AoE like that. But the thing is, we have more than 50, even in the future we have nearly 100 characters. We hope each character has its own position. That's important. It cannot be replaced by another one, and then it has its own position, then it's useful in this whole system. But the thing is, we also have to, when we want to make sure it's balanced in PvE, that's easy because we have all these systems, and PvE, it's this status and all this difficulty is set. It's not always changing. So we can use our tools to test all these characters, if it's OP, or if it's if it's too strong, too OP in multiple systems. It's easy to handle. But when we're back to PvP, it's a little bit challenging because when we go to, we just mentioned before, we have so many different kind of builds and possibilities. So that's why we need some tools. We had an AI-driven testing tool, and when we design a new character, we will put in these tools, and then they will automatically run thousands of games with millions of combinations and fight each other, and then they will summarize some reports, and our balancing designer will check this report regularly and see if the new character is OP or not. And then, of course, we will also, based on our own experience, all these designers, they have to play themselves, and we internally we play all the days, and to not only trust only the data, but also the feelings when you play and play with each other and play with the PvE content. So we in summarize, we just want to put so many energy on that. We just make sure it's really balanced, and of course we hope to back to our goal. We want to keep these builds and the gameplay. It's really diverse and with more strategy thinking and possibilities. Yeah. Hope I answered your question. Yeah.
I'm very glad to hear that there are tools behind the scene to allow the dev to play the game, to test with so many combinations to keep the character balanced. But with that amount of game content, and also in the future we're releasing so many new characters all the time, how do you make sure that all these characters will stay relevant throughout the time? Because in game like this, we know that newer character gets stronger and stronger and stronger, while old characters stay irrelevant. So is there a plan for balance patches, or just adjustment to the character to allow them to stay relevant in the future?
Yeah, I think what you mentioned, it's the general market is doing, right? So we see a lot of games when they release a new character, it's the must-have, and you have to, because it's always in the feature banner. So it's business. We understand, but we think a little bit different, because in our system we are not only PvE game. We have PvP. If we do this way, it's really hard. It's a really huge pressure for the players. They have to purchase, they have to chase the new characters every single time. I think even we are players, we play other games. It's a huge pressure for us. So we think it's what is better with is we create a cycle. It's a cycle means it's a counter cycle with different builds. So it can't say, oh, this build it's the best and you must have. You can choose your own play style. Like we said, if you want to play really tanky, you don't need to chase the speed, right? You don't have to the first speed, and even there's a high speed hero, you don't have that because your playstyle is tanky. You just need more HP and even like that. And another thing is we want to, not only this SSR or feature banner heroes is the most powerful. You can say from the last betas, a lot of SRs, even in these tournaments, a lot of SRs are very useful, I would say, with some characters, of course. When they create a build, even some SRs are the key roles for this build. So in this way, we want to it less pressures for players. They are easy to create a build they want, and they can even beat most of the PvE content, and then even in the RTA and other arena, they can also play with other players, because the counter is not simple, stronger the best. No, it's a counter circle. So we have different builds that counter each other. So I think that's our design philosophy, and so no worry about the how to say, the unbalance of the new heroes. But of course, bring new heroes is always our goal. As I said, we want just the new hero is, or new characters, it's just new experience or new builds. It's not that stronger, it's new, it's different. So I think that's our way.
Yeah, one of the big things with this game that I think will be a key strong point here is the idea of the cycle that you talked about. You know, with every animus having like a different position in the meta, I feel like we're gonna see like an always evolving meta where people are like practicing different strategies, and you know, we'll find out that, oh, one little strategy works on this character super great, and then it shifts everything, and then a new character comes out and then things start to shift again. I think there's just a lot of variability here with the matrix system that you talked about, and having a cycling meta like that is what's going to make this game great.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
that's our goal.
So playing off of that, let's address the question that many players are most concerned about. All of you guys have played many gacha games, so what frustrates you the most?
I'll kick it off. So with this one, and I'm going to reference the knowledge I have from the beta, because it really frustrates me when we have the 50-50 system in summoning. I mentioned earlier, I hate weapon banners. They're not in the game. Fantastic. Let's go farm that stuff. That is perfect for me. But with the 50-50, I noticed that when we have, I thought it was a very interesting system. When we have the rate up banners, at least in the last beta, the I can't remember the exact numbers, but we had the new character, they get their rate up banner. Now, you don't have a soft pity, and it's a higher pity, and I believe it was around 100. But if you get a, what do we want to call it, 5-star SSR, I can't remember the actual terminology, I apologize. But if you get the high rarity character, there's no 50-50. You get that character that is on the banner, that is it. Whether you beat the pity or not, so you can do a 10 pull, you get lucky, you know you're getting that character. I think that is a fantastic system. And I absolutely love that, because that covers one of the big pain points for a lot of people. At least if you're planning out, you know, okay, this is exactly how much I will need, and it's reasonable, and if I get lucky, I will get it beforehand. But the other thing that we had was, even the rate up banner characters in the beta were in the standard banner, which the standard banner has a lower pity, it has the soft pity, but obviously you don't get to choose who you're going for, so that's the trade-off there. The one question that I had from that beta, because, you know, sometimes in beta you're only getting the one character, so it's not a new release, is when a new character releases, how long before they go into the standard banner, not just their rate up banner?
Okay, so because we are still a gacha game, gacha is one of the also interesting and exciting part for this kind of, because you always got how to say, there's exciting and there's hoping. Really want the characters you really want. So we are players. When we do this, we are not just as developers, because when you you are developers just think of business, the KPIs. We have to do this, we have to do that. But most of our developers, they are also a huge fan of this genre of turn-based games and gacha games and JRPG of this kind of stuff. So when we design this crucial part, because it's talk about monetization, right? We are a business company. We have to make sure this game can run continuously, and we can then the revenue we generate can support our future development. But again, back to our player experience, we are also frustrated. We still frustrated when we pull in some other games when you get this 50-50. So like you said, so that's why at first we just decide to totally remove that. But when you get the feature banner, you will guarantee it's the characters in the banner. There was no 50-50. And back to your question, if there's a new character introduced, and from the very beginning, when we launched this new feature banner, the feature character already in the standard banner. So there you don't have to wait, and you don't have to worry about when this feature banner is gone. You cannot get this character anymore. You will need to wait 6 months or 3 months like that. No, this won't happen in Etheria. So at the very beginning, you can pull up these characters, and it's in standard banner, including light and dark characters. You know how this rare, including. So I think when we play this genre, you know how rare that, and so it's a big decision. We put these characters in this standard banner.
Yeah, love it. That's huge. Like, that's insane.
And I think I also noticed that when I was playing the beta, I think the cost of summon, I felt it was a bit lower than usual. Is that a thing in this game?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention that. So back to these things. So what we think, another thing is, it's just about 50-50. It's just the how to say, it's to what you say. It's a setting. It's a design. But actually, the thing is behind that is it's how you're pricing your game. So we generally think it's just in this market, it's just too expensive. As a player, as ourselves, when we play this game, it's too expensive. You have 50-50, then you have this duplicate system, right? You need to pull 5 or 6 times to get a full character. So this you can see in Etheria, we don't change this, but later one it's separate. No, it's not separate. It's behind this. It's just we think it's just too expensive. So we did several things to reduce the cost of the players to make this game play affordable. So one thing you see is we remove the 50-50 system. Another thing is we put this high rarity, even the featured characters into this standard banner. We let these free-to-play players can easily get them by lucky or by hardworking to collect more these free resources. And another thing is we reduce the price. So I think it's a standard price is 160 gems or crystals or any other in other games, but we reduced it to 100. That's already a huge discount. So in one pool, you only need 100 crystals in our game. And another thing is, we had a lot of season also give quite a lot of free pools, we call it animals prototypes and crystals. So the thing is, we just want to be more free-to-play friendly. We hope a lot of players, if you love our game, you can support us. Of course, then we can create more content for you. But we also, in general, there are the free-to-play players are even larger audience base. So we know that, and so we want everybody to enjoy our game. So we want these players to have a better experience. So we made these several changes. So that's what we think about this gacha in general, or the price, even the price in general.
And if I can, I just wanted to zoom in on one thing there, which was the light and dark units are also in this. Like, so you have a a rate up banner for normal elements and then light dark. I'm just going to refer to them as light dark for this. And then you also have a standard banner for the normal elements and then light dark as well. But you can still get those light dark units from the standard element standard banner, which I couldn't believe it when I got my Lily in the beta from that banner, because that's a massive thing. Like, you don't see that with light dark units typically in these style of games. And on top of that, like, the fact for those playing at home, like, this is gonna be my strategy as I'm known as the free-to-play sweat lord. When you're getting into the game, and I love that every character goes straight into the standard banner. And so if you're starting even a bit later, but even at launch, you've got those cheaper summons on the standard banner with a lower pity and a soft pity, which makes it a lot easier to get more high rarity characters. So you can put your emphasis there to build out your roster and then start targeting new characters as they come out. And you can do that because of the system of everyone going straight in. Even if you start a bit later, you still have that option to get a really good roster of characters from just using that standard banner. So I think the playoff between the standard and the rate up is a really, really strong thing, even for the longevity of new players coming in.
And think about the thing is very the dupe system, right? Duplicates. So in Etheria, you only need one and 5 is different. You need 5, it's 5 times more expensive, right? So when you get 1, you get unlock the full mechanics. You only need the in-game free upgrade resource to upgrade the skills, and but the mechanics of the skills, it's already there. You only get 1, it's enough. I think that's also a big decision, but we hope it will create a better experience for players in general.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is a pain point for a lot of players in gacha games, especially recently, where it's like, oh, if you want to, like, this, you can get this character, but if you want to play them the way they were intended to be played, you need to actually get 3 copies of them and their weapon, and it's just not feasible. When I looked at the duping system on my first stream when I played Etheria, I was like, no way, these are just very simple stat increases. So there is a benefit to it, but it's not like a benefit that changes the gameplay that you're going to experience with that character, which is a really big thing. And I'm sorry, but I'm just on a rant here, so I'm going to keep going. The other thing that you mentioned was one of the biggest things is the no more leveling up fodder characters to feed to increase your star rankings of your characters. Like, that is a big thing, because often in these style of games, half the time you spend is just repeating campaign stages just to level up that fodder, which, you know, has its purpose, but it's a bit tedious and it's not as exciting. Whereas in Etheria, all those materials to keep upgrading your characters are given through events, in-game systems, the quote-unquote tower mode, all that sort of stuff. That's where you can get all those things, and it came at a pretty decent rate. You can also somewhat farm them in the experience stage if you want to as well, and then use them to fuse up as well. So there is that option if you're really desperate to get a few up. But in general, the income felt pretty good of them, and it just means that when you're actually spending your stamina in-game, it's always going to be something exciting. Either you're going for modules or you're going for shells. And for me, when I play these style of gacha games, that's almost as fun as summoning a character, is seeing if I got that, you know, that god tier piece of gear with the 4 optimal substats, you know, and stuff like that. So I think it just makes the general daily gameplay a lot more exciting, because that leveling up in the campaign stages is now sort of removed from the game.
Yeah. This I want to add 2 more sentences, because I think this is the duplicate system, and for this, how to say, you don't have to have this feed other characters to other characters. This kind of setting is actually from the community, because they talk about and give us feedback times to times. Oh, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this, because a lot of people talking about this. We think we really take it serious, and it's really the painful experience when they play other games. So as a game release in 2025, so I think the thing is we want to create just a better experience. So we hear from the community, and we make these 2 changes. And we think it's, even for ourselves, it's much easier, because we also play that. It's really a long time just leveling up these other characters. It's not fun. It's just not fun, right? So we hope to take this chance to thank the whole community, the players who support us for the long time, and we hope in the future when we release, you support us and give us feedbacks. We have our community manager here, and in our community you can also give all these feedbacks, and we will listen to you and take your suggestions seriously, and we hope to improve the game together.
Yeah, I think a lot of this stuff just makes this a great experience for new players. Like as we talked about, like when you're introducing a game to your friends that you're already like a year or two deep in, and like you're like, oh, they don't have all the characters, they can't do anything. I just think it's going to be a great opportunity to build a long-lasting like core community, both of free players and paid players. And for competitiveness and all these tournaments coming up, I think that's going to be the key highlight here. And just having a core community that we can build and grow like that is going to be huge for this game, and I'm super excited. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your time. There's been so many great questions going on, and thank you, Jack, for being so transparent about everything. We're all super excited. So just letting you all know, Etheria will launch officially on June 5th. Make sure to pre-register for the official launch, and that'll be live across all major game stores. You can access the official Etheria website to pre-register on whatever platform you prefer, and you'll have access to some unique rewards and some codes on top of that when you register. So there's a lot waiting for you guys. Just make sure you stay tuned to the website and our social media pages. So goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. It was really fun talking with you guys.
See you in Etheria. See you.